or that want to join us, the question is right there. Why did the Hausa vowed for the Igbos never to be the president of Nigeria? Can we change this narrative, this situation in 2027? But this video that you're going to watch now might be one of the reasons why they vow that this will never happen in Nigeria. Yes, this interview was granted just today. I think it was yesterday, uploaded today. So I want us to listen, pay attention to it.
An average politician.
No, he was so revered. Ahmadu, I mean, he has this kind of mystique around him. It's like Ahmadu was like today's Oba of Benin. Today's Oba of Benin is like a demigod to Benin people. That was how Ahmadu Bello was to an average northerner then and now. He was so much revered. He was such an intellect. No, the guy was very deep. Ahmadu Bello was a very, very deep politician. And it's unfortunate that he lost his life, during that coup. And that's why you score that an average northerner will make reference to more to Ahmadu Bello than Tafawa Balewa and other northerners who were killed in that coup. Because Ahmadu Bello was like, was like the center point of the intellectualism in the North in terms of political reality, in terms of leadership.
He was also like a spiritual leader.
Yes. So it was a different plane entirely.
He embodied Islam.
Yes.
He also embodied governance
in the North.
And that was the man Kaduna Nzogu went for.
Yes.
And he went for him brutally.
Precisely.
He didn't even blink.
Yes.
He fired the shots.
Yes, sir. That was your turn to speak.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, my dear sister, Rita. Thank you, my fellow panelists. And I celebrate those in the comment section for their wonderful job. Yeah, this is it's an interesting topic because it has to do with the issue that has been happening, that have brought us to where we are today. Can you guys hear me clearly, please?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you.
But the network is breaking. I see my photo is.
Your fault, Mr. Alvis, your own. It's clear here.
Okay.
Okay. So, thank you, my sister. You see, we have spoken, very well, and we've spoken, at length, and we have been able to analyze most of the issues. But for me, I would like to, if we want to talk about the origin of this issue, if you don't mind, I will go back to history and how Nigeria historical ethnic tension started. Because the ethnic discrimination, that existed in Nigeria before the coup was an issue, because something led to that coup. The country, we had that colonial past and post-independence politics, that contributed to the tension of our country, Nigeria. This issue is a key factor. Like, for instance, the colonial divide and rule policy that it brought. Don't forget that before, why the colonial came, when they came to take over our land, most of us in the South, resisted these colonial masters. And most people in the North, because they have no kingdom, they have no institution, they pledged their loyalty before these colonial masters, most especially in our land, the British people, and they used them to penetrate every other part of the nation, and that has been an issue. This divide and rule issue that I spoke about has made some group to become vulnerable to others, while they teach others how to create resistance and creating a settlement as well. You see, if we leave that area of divide and rule, the impact is very, very large. And that divide and rule, that is where they brought religion into it. They brought other issues, to confuse our people, which we are still in today. Then that religion and ethnic rivalry was another issue, you know, because post-independence politics kind of saw politics that exploited, or rather the politicians, they exploited ethnic and religion differences, you know, to instead of them exploiting it for a better purpose, they weaponize it against the people. I think that's the word that we use, because religious diversity has its positivity when it comes to development, but these people, they weaponize it because that was the way they were taught by those that gave us independence. They told the Northerners that they shouldn't relinquish power because the economic, what will finance the nation is in the south, in the west, part of the west, that if they relinquish power, they're going to die in suffering. Even we saw what happened before independence, how the Northerners were not ready and they delayed us. We would have had independence earlier. They were not ready, they delayed us, and they had to force them to join us. That was how those issues of Ahmad Bello, blah, 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 came about, Sultan of Sokoto, and all of them. Then we also have an issue of census that came up that really brought that disagreement. There was a disagreement over census and election failures. You know that particularly that was that was particularly between the IGBOS and the HAUSAS in the north and the Fulani, the Hausa Fulani, that brought tension. You know, that led to what I'm talking about, the 1966 and all that now. So if we move forward in this area, we'll find out that Nigeria has never been one nation. We have never been one people, because we didn't sit down to say, okay, yes, we want to come together. Just as I talk about colonial divide and rule policy of the British colonial rulers, they set the pace for us. They told us what we're going to do. We're not ready, and people were just following, just like we are still following like Mumuti today. You know, following just zombie, according to Fela, zombie when I want way, Ajoga, tell him to stand up, go stand up, tell him to jump, he go jump, tell him to sit, he go sit. Because we didn't know what we were doing. So if you look at that, they've exploited all these things. These ethnic issues that we are talking about is just an issue that wouldn't have been relevant at all if we had good governance. If we compare the early days of Nigeria, independent, after independence till about late 70s, Nigeria was progressive in terms of development. There was a clear progression, which I'm going to say against some of our submission today, that there was a clear definition of what we want. I can remember those days that development was actually going on. The roads were being on. We had pipe-borne water, laid, and it was being connected to different area. We had hospitals, accessibility to health. These things were there. People were corrupt then. I don't want to talk about the war because we've all spoken about extensively about the war and those that participated and all that. These people had intention. Like the IGBOS, for instance, they knew that it was not going to work. They saw what we didn't see earlier on. They knew it was not going to work. That is why they said they want to move that time. They foresaw this thing, just like what Unadi Kanu saw recently, and it's not happening. They saw it because in each ethnic group, or if we have different ethnic groups that are coming together, God will bless each and every one of us with different talents. They are very industrious. They want to grow, but they saw subjugation and servitude from these northern rulers, because the power that brought us together was fake, was not real. That is why they wanted to pull out. So whatever that has happened at that time was not a mistake for me, because if the South and the West has supported the East, I think we will not be where we are today. I regret why that coup didn't work, why that the Civil War, why the Biafra didn't win that Civil War. I regret it up today, because we are even worse than where we expected right now. Because if we have fought that war and forgot about it, and it is just the betrayal of the West and the South. They betrayed that war. I don't want to go into that. They betrayed that war. That is why the Igbos did not succeed that war. People like Sabobu Bamudia, the late, his blessed memory, and this Basajo and all that, they are the one that messed up that war. That war. Yeah, otherwise, we would have been free long time ago from these Northerners. The North, they siphon money, the politicians, not the North, because the Northerners, the common Northerners, they are our brothers. We shouldn't forget that people are being weaponized. Poverty is being weaponized against one another in that country. We are brothers and sisters. But the politicians decided to relegate the North to the background by not, making sure that the resources that is made for them are not used judiciously. Look at the North. Nothing is happening there. No road, no house, no water, nothing. People are still living as if we are in 200 years ago. If you see areas that is being attacked by these insurgents, those areas for me they are not worth living. People are still living like barbarians in the days of the Bible in part of the North. So what have they done so far with allocations that have been given for multiple years? So the Northern leaders are those that made their people to be so poor to the extent. Okay, look at what is happening right now. With all the natural resources that we got in the North, instead of them to calm down, the West, South, and East had natural resources, and it's been directed towards the transformation of the nation, which people are being siphoned. The politicians are siphoning it on a daily basis. But the moment we start seeing resources from the North, they came up with chaos, and the chaos is still until today. Do you know that the natural resources that is in Sambisa forest can turn Nigeria to paradise in just 10 years? Sambisa forest, what is there, can turn Nigeria to paradise. The gold we have in Zamfara can turn Nigeria to paradise, even if it is not Nigeria. Let them use their resources to change their region. No, they won't. They are packing everything to Saudi Arabia. For me, I believe that the black, sorry to use this word, I'm a black man. The black people, if I use the word, people might not like it. I think we are not made to be innovative and enjoy this earth. We are made to remain in perpetual suffering and be under our fellow brothers and sisters, because we are not wise in any way. God didn't bless the black people with wisdom. That is what I would say. We are blessed with ignorance, because if we know what we are doing, we cannot keep doing one thing continuously and there's no result. We still keep doing that same thing. We are not reasonable. That is the word. Black man is not reasonable, except when they visit the look at black people visiting, politicians visiting Western world, and they go back and keep repeating the same thing. They bring the money here, and they take the money from them. They call them for fraud allegations, and they run away. Is that not foolishness? How can you take your own resources to a foreign land, and when you get there, they ask you to come and explain how you got the resources, then you will run and leave that resources and go back again for another one? That's absolute foolishness. That is not even barbaric, it's animalistic to me. So the problem is not all that we have been explaining. If a leader has come and said, okay, let's transform the nation, let's live by example, let's design a structure that will work, everybody will follow. Whether you are Igbo, you are whatever, you will follow. But who are those that are going to do it? I remember those days where that's why we are talking about restructuring. If we have restructuring and have regional control, because I remember those days where we have the east, the west, and the south and the north. We were growing. Awolowo brought a lot of innovation to the west, which were being copied. The east were very innovative, and they were so creative, and they did all these things to the benefit of their own region. And that is the kind of government that will bring about competition. Without competition, Nigeria will not grow. So if we are not going on our separate ways, let them allow region to have their independence and do things on their own, so that we will know who we need to hold responsible for our waste of resources. But they won't. They won't. Look at our president falling up and down everywhere. The president of America, the past president of America, what was his name before Donald Trump, Joe Biden, ruled for 4 years. He was contesting for the second term, and he started having issues because he couldn't stand they saw that he cannot even stand election, talk less of coming to handle a nation like America. They went into a meeting and asked him to step down, and he did. That is somebody that is reasonable. Must you be president? Must you exist as a president to the detriment of your nation? Somebody cannot even step down from the staircase and cannot even move properly, walking as a ghost, a dead human being. God forbid that kind of part of the world. God forbid. And they come here, they come to Western world, enjoy the facilities, and go back. These guys are cursed. They are cursed. Because I can't see somebody building a big mansion inside an environment where there is no light, no water, no social amenities, nothing is happening. You build a mansion and buy a very expensive car that is made by foreigners, that you cannot even encourage your people technologically to empower them. You call that, I don't know. So black people, I don't know how we were created. I don't know how God is going to do it to give us wisdom, because we lack wisdom, except very few of us that is exempted from this. And those of us that actually, understand what it takes, we have really, come to the Western world and learn what it takes to become democratically oriented, what it takes to practice democracy, the meaning of the word democracy.
1 minute more.
Coming to the people, by the people, and for the people. So it's a pity that we are in this mess, going back to 60s, 50s, and 70s to discuss issue of today. It's a pity, and may God help us. The time we come, we'll forget this history. They don't teach history in schools. All this history, all these things that we are talking about, the Gen Z age, you don't know it. So how do you expect us to learn from our past? What lesson are we going to learn? It's a big pity. Thank you very much. I'll stop here.